I can't help it, I always get a little romantical when I think I'm the first person to touch this piece of rock in 2,500 to 4,000 years. That was me. I touched it first. That's just cool. You know, calling anything a definitive guide sounds like I become from somebody who knows what they're talking about. I do not know all the answers to this arrowhead hunting stuff. I've done it most of my life. Take it serious, more serious than most people probably. I like to think I'm a student of the game. That does not mean I know everything. I'm just trying to pass on to y'all some of the stuff that I've learned, some of the things to look for, and I hope it's working for you. If it's working for you, subscribe. If it doesn't, don't. We're going to talk about arrowhead hunting in a cow pasture. I mean, right amongst the cows and the cow patties. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're going to learn a little bit about arrowhead hunting hopefully today. Hopefully. I thought maybe I'll learn something today. So it's a drizzly, cool, dandy September 11th, I believe. There's something to think about. I'm on top of a ridge. A major ridge. Got a big creek that way. Got a big ditch this way. Another one on that side. And we're on top right now, the highest part of this ridge. Well, okay, over there is probably a couple foot higher. And we're going to talk about digging. Now, digging's not for everybody. I'm not going to do a lot of digging today. I'm going to show you how I do it. I did a video like this a few years ago, 2 years ago maybe. Anyway, people liked it. We're going to talk about digging points and places where they haven't been disturbed as much. How's that? Now, pretty interesting. Again, here in this part of Missouri, we're blessed with a shallow soil. Our hard pan up here, where I've dug a few times before, is about 9 inches under the surface. That's all you have till you hit where there's not really much chance for human habitation below that. That helps. Pretty funny, y'all. Now this is hilarious. There's so many things you talk about right here, but I look down and there's a piece of debitage right on top of the ground right now. There's a flake right there. Look at that. Sure enough, piece of chert. So, obviously, a clue immediately. Now, this is not the perfect place to dig. I've hardly ever dug here. I have dug a few times. I found some stuff. Years ago, I started right about here, maybe right over here. I did 6 test holes for about a quarter mile down through here before it falls off into the creek bottom. I found debitage in every one of those holes. Every one of them brought up chips and flakes. I'm going to take you down a little bit where I have dug up some points and stuff before, but it's a lot of work. We don't make landowners mad. We don't leave big old holes. The cows obviously don't need a broken foot or broken leg. There's so much to talk about. This is not virgin land. This has been logged. I mean, however many years ago, but when it was logged, obviously they pushed stuff up out of the ground. They probably kept it, reburied it, whatever. The ultimate, you find a place like this where it hasn't been logged or hasn't been logged heavily. There's no trees up here. Obviously, this was all timber at one time, so this is not virgin stuff. If that makes any sense at all, I know I don't make sense very often. So I'm going to dig a few test holes down through here. If it don't rain us out. And I'm going to show you how I do that and talk about it as we go. That's kind of my plan. We'll see how this works out. So again, where would you dig? It's no different than looking in plowed fields, looking in the water in the creeks. It's just not any different. You pick the best spot. This spot here, again, is surrounded by creeks. The major creek to the west, a smaller creek to the north, and a big old ditch on this side. It's where they lived. The one thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do a test hole or two. I'm not doing excavation today, I hope. That means I get into them. I'm by this walnut tree. It's the only tree on this end. I always get fairly close to trees to start with if I've never been someplace before, because these tree roots help pick stuff up. It seems to me. Now we're only 9-10 inches deep. At least most of this is not very deep hard pan. But I like to be around these trees. I'll dig a couple holes. Now test holes. I'll show you. Now what I've got here, I got told I did this wrong last year. I called this a pitchfork. It's a potato fork. Got my tater fork. I'm going to wiggle it carefully into the ground. Carefully, because those prongs will poke right through a point. It'll go crack, and I've only done it once. I've chipped a few. You put it in the ground and you wiggle it, and you'll hear it squeal. And it's a certain sound on debitage and points. It's squeaky. It makes a noise. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Squeak, squeak. So I'm going to try that. I thought about putting a GoPro on this thing. You know what? That's just... I'm not that sassy, so we're going to try this, see if we can make this. I'm going to push this fork in the ground, wiggle it and shake it in. Wiggle it. Wiggle it. If I hit into something, I'll feel it or hear it. And you can actually probe that way too. Some people do that. And my potato fork is breaking. How's that for a good way to start? Look at that. My potato fork's breaking on me. Do it again over here. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So I didn't want to bore you with that. I did a couple little spots there and never really hit anything quick. It was very, very little effort. Didn't put much into it. I'm going to take you down to this other end. Broke my tater fork. Broken. Got to pin it back together. I'll use it a little bit. Look at that big old deep power. So we go down here to the other end, which is right above the creek, which in every aspect of what I try to tell y'all, that makes the most sense being closer to water. But this ridge top is relatively flat, not very wide, and it points right at that creek. You know what? That just makes for perfect conditions. Okay, a little history about this spot for fun. I don't know if y'all can see that mound right in front of me. Actually a mound right there on top of this point. This mound, the locals have always called it a burial mound, which it's not at all. It is almost solid rock. Has been up here over the years. They finally hauled it off. There's still some there. That rock's on top of the hard pan. I come here one day, and since I don't believe in Indian burial mounds per se, as far as the Native Americans that we're talking about, Indian tribe, we're talking about older people here. They didn't bury their dead to speak of. I pulled some of these rocks over and found broken points immediately right underneath them. This rock's been there so many years, there was stuff right underneath them. How's that for cool? Broken stuff, not ceremonial stuff, nothing like that. I never have dug this. These big old rocks, there's stuff underneath here. The first dig I ever did up here was just a little one. I've only done it a few times. That big old tree right there, I found points underneath it immediately one day. And I never have gotten edge of timber before it falls off on the bluff. So we may look a little bit there. See how that goes. I'm standing on top of a little mound though right here. And pretty much it's a trash midden. What I found here is where they dump their trash. Isn't that cool? I'm a fisherman, so it's always a good idea to have some excuses ready. The grass is thick, not ideal. This is a better wintertime deal. Pretty soon the deer hunters, just a week from now, there'll be bow hunters. I don't want to interfere with them. Winter can be cold, but winter and spring is the best time to do this. I'm by that big tree where I said I found stuff before. I found some bare dirt out here. Probably a fox has been digging for grubs or voles out here. I'm just going to real quick try that. Another excuse I have is my my tater fork is broken. It's, I'm still going to use it, but it's, that's not good. I did bring a little shovel with me though, because I'm trying to teach y'all stuff. I brought some backup stuff. Anyway, I'm going to try here. I'm going to try over there. Maybe by those rocks and maybe the edge of the timber. Just real quick. I'm not trying to do an excavation. I'm trying to show you that this works. It'd be so cool to pull a piece up, some more debitage or whatever. That's all I got. I'm going to do a little digging, which means I got to put the camera down. Sure about that GoPro. Now again, more excuses. I wasn't prepared for it to be raining on me. It's just drizzling, but it's still kind of a wet, nasty mess. I didn't bring a kneeling pad. Any more excuses I can come up with? I also have a small sifter in the truck. Now it's a small one. It's my trapping sifters. When I'm doing this for real, I have not anymore, I have to make some more. I use a hardware cloth, like that 1/4-inch hardware cloth, and make a pretty big box to put this dirt in and shake it down. But I just did 3 pushes with this tater fork. 3 of them. I got a piece of debitage, I think. It's not a point, but it's a piece of debitage. And there you go. That's the way it works, y'all. Look at that. Beautiful. Heat-treated piece of debitage. Look at that. First, that's how quick it happens when you're in the right spot. Now, this doesn't get you excited. I don't care. It gets me very excited. Look at that. 3 little pushes, about 3 inches deep. Can you all hear this? That's what you don't want to go on through. Hear it? You don't want to go through that. You need to very carefully move the fork a little bit, get that picked up, or take a shovel to it, or get in there by hand. So I went back to the truck and got my little sifter. Now it's a very low volume. It's a trapping sifter from sifting dirt so you don't get rocks in trap beds. And I went and got it because I'm hitting a lot of little bitty flakes, it looks like, a lot of little pieces. I'm just going to real quick sift some of this. I'm trying to do a complete lesson here, and you need to be able to sift this dirt. So that's going to be next. There's a flake right there. Try to put it here where I can find it. Right off the bat. Nice piece. I know this won't be exciting to y'all or a lot of people, but that's a minute and a half, 2 little sifts, and there's debitage. Same kind of debitage you find in creeks and in plowed fields. Look at it. Really nice flakes. And a lot of these are finished flakes, showing signs of long-term habitation where they actually were finishing out points. Look at that fine little thing. So, can't believe how dirty a camera gets doing this. That's all I did. I've already filled the hole back in because I'm not going to leave a hole for my landowner unless I have permission to do that, which I don't know why I would. I'm going to go over here on the edge of the timber where the ticks live, and I'm going to dig in some of the timber there for just a couple seconds and then move on, because this is an all-day affair, weeks worth when you get going at it. And I don't have that kind of time. I'm trying to show you it works. That's debitage right there. That's the real stuff. I stopped short of going in that timber. I mean, as soon as you go under 10 foot, it falls off steep to the creek. I'm not going to do that. I'm underneath that tree. I have dug, oh man, I did a line once from about 3 foot from the tree out. I found 2 points in that stretch and 2 or 3 brokes and tons of debitage. The cows beneath here got all turned up. I see a couple little spots of debitage on top of the ground. A little flake right there, a little flake right there. So I'm going to go ahead and dig me a little, maybe a 2-foot tunnel right here, because I'm too scared to go over there. That tick infested, wet, dripping, nasty. Oh my gosh, it's horrible. Okay, y'all, I'm in there seriously 2.5 inches on that deepest fork. And I got me a squaller. It's a real high-pitched one. It's definitely debitage. So I'm going to dig this up real careful right here. I don't have my other excavating tools. I don't have my little hand tools, hand trowels and stuff. I don't have that with me. I get the surface broke up generally and then go in with the smaller tools and work it out, sift it. We're going to go in very carefully. I'm going to just a couple. I can't believe how much work this is, how much I love this, how much I don't do it. There's another flake right there on top of the ground. We're into stuff here. Okay, y'all, I have to reiterate how exciting this is for me because I haven't been up here in 10 years. Again, before I go back where I just dig, and there's debitage right there. Oh, wait a minute. Did I screw up? Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Big old thin, pretty flake. So I just dug a foot diameter hole. And I've got debitage. Again, there's another piece. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. I'm going to try to get back down here on my little towel that I brought out so I don't have to kneel on the rocks too much. And I got a hand right on a thorn just now, that thistle. Look at that little piece right there on top of the ground. So, pretty simple. I go in a few feet, took my glove off. Look, there's a piece right there, right there, and right here. Not a point, but debitage. Definitely flakes, clues, scene of the crimes, what I've always called them. Look at that. I'm in the right stuff, y'all. That one right there. Still in the dirt. So, we'll break these clods up. An old nail. Old nail right there. Break these clods up and see what else is in here. So, that's next on the list. You always want these videos to work out for people. I should know why I have any doubts that this will work. I've done this before, I just haven't done it forever. I'm digging through these clods with my bare hands, and I got one. So that's cool, it works. I got a big flake anyway. There's another flake right there. I got one right there, I got a sharp side on it, so. Look there. Look at that. I'm excited. A right side notch. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It wasn't 2 inches deep, y'all. Look at that. That's like a 2,500-year-old, 3,000-year-old point, I believe. Look at that. Perfect shape. Whew. Translucent tip. Translucent material, period, on the sides. Yeah, I'm breathing hard. I can't believe it. I'm excited. Look, that's all it took. Oh, look at that thing. Oh gosh, so I'll leave this camera on. There's another piece right there. Nope, that's a piece of bark. Okay, I better move him before I get him tore up and lose him. I'm laying down here. I want to sit down. Muddy, still drizzling. I'm going to put my glove back on and try to sift through some of this. That thing wasn't 2 inches down, maybe 3 inches. No, about 2 inches down. Some of that debitage is underneath it. Who knows what else is right here? That will be the third point I found in this 4 or 5 foot section. I think I found 2 or 3 brokes that one day. I dug for an hour that day and had 2 points and 3 brokes and a bunch of debitage. And again, 8 inches deep, probably a 4 foot, 5 foot long section, maybe 6, whatever. By these big trees, that helps. Oh, it's just a lot of work for a little round guy. I still see more debitage scattered around here on top too, so. Okay. It comes with the right tools and material to work with, so much easier. Piece right there, debitage. Look at that. Flake right there, debitage. Every clump of dirt has something in it, something to talk about, some story to tell. I'm down 6 inches here, and I'm already getting that heart pan clay. So there's not much point digging past that hard pan clay very far. Another one right there in that rock. See it? Camera seeing that? Look at that. So obviously I'm in the thick of it, so it's cool. I knew I would be. It's been 10 years. How's that for sad? There's another piece right there I just threw away. So I'm not going to dig up here all day. I got things to do. I got another part of this video I want to do. Oh my gosh, y'all. There's little bitty flakes all through this. God, I'd love to pull up another one real quick. This is just, I love when a plan comes together. I'm just barely sweating. Humidity's pretty high. Okay. I had a real nice pink flake there. It just disappeared. So, I guess that's probably that. You know, I got other plans for the day and other things I want to show y'all. Still pulling flakes out. So I'm going to backfill that hole and talk about what we're going to do next. So that worked out really well and really stupid. Kind of got rained out. I mean, which is wonderful. Got soaking wet. My potato fork broke. I didn't take enough equipment with me. I wasn't planning for it. I didn't plan on getting all muddy and dirty. Ran this camera out of memory. Grabbed my GoPro, ran it out of battery. Okay, y'all, here's what I want to get across to you about where I just was, what it looks like, and how you can find places like this for yourself. Again, we're near water, we're near a creek. I'm going to try to show you this on this board before it gets too dark. Y'all don't understand topographic maps. You need to learn. The closer the lines are together, the steeper it is. The farther apart the lines are, the flatter it is. So what we have in this spot is this, I'll make this real simple. Here's a creek, okay? Creek runs like this. Where I was finding these points is you've got a field here next to the creek and you got this bluff. It runs like this and turns into a little point and goes like this, okay? Another creek down here, another ditch down here. Here's the point. Really steep, contour lines close together. And then it opens up and the top line will look something like this. Meaning this is flatter, okay? So, and where that point was about right there. Okay, probably 30, 40 yards from the bluff and another 200 yards of the creek. So you understand the contours are closer together where it falls off the creek. As it gets up on top, it opens up. It gets broader and wider and flatter is good when you're trying to find points. Now that oversimplified, probably. I'm looking for flat spots above the creek. The points in the bottoms are there too, but those bottoms have been tilled, plowed, picked over by other people. Ron, man, I bet you, unless this thing was ever farmed on top of this hill, and I don't see any sign of it, it's mine. I'm finding the first stuff. I bet you when it was logged off, when they pushed stumps off over the years, some points were brought up, but it can't be perfect. Perfect would be getting in the timber where it's never been logged, and that doesn't happen anywhere in the country, I don't think. Everybody's been logged. There's very little virgin timber. That is the point of the points I'm trying to find. Anyway, flat spots on the tops of those ridges, near that creek, near the river. Oh yeah, and it worked. So I didn't get to do the other part of the video I wanted, which was I was gonna show you a rock shelter. Now, I did a video on that last year, I think. I'll find a link to that one. I'll put in the description. It shows me doing some digging in a rock overhang shelter. That's the other kind of place you dig. I was going to take you to one. I wasn't planning on digging there, but I was going to show it to you. Ran out of cameras. Hope y'all get something out of this. Digging's not for everybody. You sure have to have permission to dig. There are a lot of places in the country, for one reason or another, it's illegal to dig. I'm not going to get in trouble for that. So, it's no different than any other kind of arrowhead hunt. It takes a lot of time. I got very, very fortunate today. But I knew I was in the right spot. I knew without a doubt to do a quick video would be a good place. I expect to impress y'all with a handful of debitage and come up with that nice rice side notch. So good for me. You know, it's still exciting to me. 59 years old, and I still get ate up about this. Hope y'all like it. The shelters underneath them is another place that works. I think I'm going to do 2 more videos with this thing, y'all, if y'all want me to. I got one more on location. I'm going to give away some of my secret whatever. I got some places that are enough better than other places, other locations. I'm going to share them with you. A couple things like that. And I'm going to do one more video on arrowheads, artifacts, relics, what we're looking for, names, archaeology stuff, because I think you can't talk about how to without having more of a base to go to, and I didn't want to bore people too much to start with. So there you go. God bless y'all. See you soon. Oh yeah, by the way, if you're digging artifacts, you'll still have your fair share of brokes. You'll still have your fair share of pooter points. You have a lot of debitage. The same thing you find anywhere else. Percentage-wise, if you dig enough, though, you will have more perfect points. They've never been hit by a tractor, tumbled by the creek. You have really pretty points. You still have brokes. Just gonna happen.